So, and not that I wouldn't have married my ex-wife or not have my kids. The best thing that came out of that were my kids. But um, I just being an entertainer, because money is amazing. But if you're not happy, money is not good. So I don't blame my ex-wife. I don't blame anyone. I just, with my journey, trying to help young entertainers understand, build your career first, and then focus on marriage and children and things like that.
I want a husband. Listen, you're not ready. If you right now if a man met you right now, where you at? Are you ready? Because I'm telling you, from a woman that has been a wife, it's not easy. It's not easy being a wife. It's not easy at all. You're running an entire organization right in your home. I'm just listen, nobody want to talk about it. I'm going to talk about it. Being a wife is not for the weak. It is for the strong and the healed and the patient. And baby, back then, I wasn't any of those things. So I'm just going to keep it real. Because I wanted to be a wife so bad, but I didn't think about everything that it really took to be a wife. It takes a lot of submitting and a lot of forgiving and a lot of shutting the fuck up back then. And I wasn't really ready to do that. I wasn't. Because I had a quick mouth, I had a quick temper, and when I get fed up with some shit, everything stops. I stop cooking, I stop cleaning, and I stop f***ing. And I'm telling you, as a wife, that's something that you should never stop doing. No matter what's going on in your home, you gotta still cook, you still gotta clean, and you still gotta give them some ass from time to time.
Tell us the truth! Alright, what's good, YouTube? It's your man, Book of AlphaRonomy, aka Doc BOA. Yep, I got time today. Clifton Powell is, I think, one of the most underrated actors we have in Hollywood. Not just Black Hollywood, but Hollywood. From his role as Cuddy on Dead Presidents to his role as Pinky on Next Friday. Who has more range than that? When you think about Cuddy's character and then you juxtapose that against Pinky, that's all you need. I remember the episode of the sitcom Rock where he first broke in. Phenomenal, man. Phenomenal. I knew then that he was well on his way. And I just want y'all to understand that you have to wrap your mind around the concept that when you're on this kind of purpose in life, the trajectory that he's been on for his entire acting career, which is still very productive as you might imagine, because you still see him in roles and you still see him and he's a brother who's very down to earth, man, who helps out, let's say, underground directors and underground movie producers. You know what I mean? Honestly, to be perfectly honest with you, just as an ode to him, man, I'm going to try to have him in my next film, man. I'm going to try to have him in my next film. But let's listen to him talk about how the worst decision he ever made was marriage, because it caused him to have to choose whether he was going to compromise and sacrifice his career and his purpose for his marriage, because they both require the same amount of effort, energy, and focus. Like the dedication you give your career, you give your purpose, you have to give that same dedication to your marriage, because it's that kind of work. You have to work every day on your career to get better. You have to work every day on your purpose to get better. Well, you have to work every day in your marriage to get better. You have to work every day in your relationship to get better. And you can't do both because you only got 24 hours in a day. You take out sleeping, eating, travel. You ain't got enough time to do both. So let's listen to Clifton Powell, man, and we'll come back and chop it up on a real tip. Shout out to the Art of Dialogue for this video too, man. Dope channel, man. Dope channel. Subscribe to it.
And one of the things that I try to do is when I do lectures, I have one slated hopefully to do at Norfolk State, and I want to take it around to the HBCUs, evening with Clifton Powell. And what I want to talk about is all the things that nobody helped me understand when I started in the business. So one of the panelists asked me, what's the biggest mistake I made? I think the biggest mistake I made in the beginning was getting married. Not so much because marriage is bad, but trying to build my career inside of my marriage. It's simply impossible. The divorce rate in Hollywood is almost 97% amongst entertainers. So, and not that I wouldn't have married my ex-wife or not have my kids. the best thing that came out of that were my kids. But I just, being an entertainer, and I'll give you an example. In 1979, myself, Denzel Washington, Sam Jackson, Angela Bassett, we were all poor actors who were just entering into a very difficult business. And nobody ever told me and taught me anything about Hollywood or how to be an entertainer or be in the entertainment business. It's a little different when you're in New York and you don't necessarily make it to the big national level. But when you leave New York, like we all did, only left New York, not necessarily come out to Hollywood to be famous actors. We were in love with the work, but you don't make a lot of money. So when you come out to Hollywood, the next thing you know, you do rock. And then from rock, you do Menace to Society. And then from Menace, you do Dead Presidents. And then I went on a 35-year run, where I did Rush Hour, Next Friday, Phantoms, Deep Rising, and all the movies that people have Ray and all the movies that people have seen me in. And inside of that has its own, the trajectory in the arts has its own isolated energy. And it takes all of your time and all of your energy. You barely have enough time for your wife and your kids. And I didn't understand that. And so when I was married at the height of my career, making a lot of money, I was out of my house maybe 80% of the time. And no marriage can survive if you're not giving it attention. And then there's all the other temptations on the road, the women, the gambling, the drinking, the partying. And before you know it, you're in divorce court. And that's really what happened. I survived it, because money is amazing. But if you're not happy, money is not good. So I don't blame my ex-wife. I don't blame anyone. I just, with my journey, trying to help young entertainers understand, build your career first and then focus on marriage and children and things like that.
I think it's interesting how Denzel Washington's wife has been with him the entire time. Since before he became this huge actor, man, they were together when he got the Soldier Story role, which is the first role I remember seeing him in, a Soldier Story. Phenomenal role, man. Phenomenal role. When he played that role, man, I knew that guy he was going to be the man. And just to be honest with you, man, I think it's just all about this. It's just about the individual. Clifton Powell is a phenomenal actor, but he didn't blow like Denzel blew up. So Denzel was able to pick and choose his roles. When you're an actor who's not at the upper echelon, certainly not at the lower end of it. He's in the middle. And he said this in another part of this interview that he's in the middle. He's okay with being in the middle because he didn't want to have to sacrifice the things you had to sacrifice to be in the upper echelon if you don't just pop off and end up that guy. And I just say, it just depends, man, on where you are, what you want, how far you want to go, how high you want to go. It's like Noriega saying that when he had the opportunity to go to where Jay-Z and them was, man, when he saw was on the other side of that door, he said, I ain't going. I'm good. And that was it for his career. So I want y'all to understand that you have to really, really decide what sacrifices you want to make. Or if you have someone with you who understands the sacrifices. Like if this woman is for you, she's going to be there through the sacrifices. She's going to make the sacrifices. Denzel's wife made the sacrifices. Lorenz Tate's wife made the sacrifices. Samuel Jackson's wife made the sacrifices. LL Cool J's wife made the sacrifices. Well, there's many men whose wives didn't make the sacrifices. And that's why it's so important that you are careful when choosing a woman. Because if a woman is like Aisha Curry and thought you were going to be the average man and you turned out to be a superstar, she's never going to be fully embracing that role because she didn't want it in the first place. Money isn't everything. Now, money it's a lot, but money isn't everything. And a woman will stay for the money, but it won't ever make her like you. It won't ever make her appreciate you. And so the best thing that really could have happened to Clifton Powell is that that burden of being in a marriage that a woman didn't want to be in anymore is over. Because if he had been maybe upper echelon had went on, made those sacrifices and compromises that would have put him there. Maybe there would have been enough money for her to stay. Now he's stuck with a woman who don't love him, who don't like him, and who's just there for the money. So now you got to worry about rumors getting out that your wife is sleeping around in Hollywood like Jada Pinkett. You know what I mean? I just want y'all to understand, man, that life is what you make it. And you make it what it's going to be by making the proper decisions. And if you don't make those proper decisions, man, you're going to be in trouble, brothers. You're going to be in real trouble because your career only goes as far as you have the peace of mind to take it. When you have something in your life that's robbing you of your peace of mind, everything you do is going to be stunted. It's not going to have the full energy that it needs to be successful. And none of us should be willing to compromise our mission, our purpose for a woman, because that purpose is what you were born for. That woman will be here today and gone tomorrow because her focus most times is not you. Her focus is what you can do that makes her feel better about herself. Never what she could do to make you and your journey smoother, unless you have the right woman. And the right woman is that woman who looks at you and says, this is the man that I was born to be with. I ain't going nowhere. Mars Chestnut is another guy. Wife has been there since the beginning of his career. And I just want y'all to understand, man, if a woman can't accept that you are who you are and she is blessed to be with you, then she's not the woman for you. Don't make the mistake of being with a woman who just appreciates what you can do, not who you are. Notice I didn't say love. Appreciate, revere you, respect you. She can keep her love because all she loves is herself. All right, I'm done with this one. Like this video on your way out if you enjoyed the content. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. When you subscribe, click that notification bell. Make sure your notifications are on so you can be alerted to when I upload some more of this Prism of the Ism. And as always, Alpha's up, Beta's down. Peace. Next.